Hello, everybody, and welcome to the episode 0, is that what we're calling this? Of NeuroSpice&Dice. We are a new group of actual play people that don't use their faces. Um, my name is, well, I'm called Rue, or God, apparently. I am the dungeon master
Uh-huh.
of this group. I am a very new dungeon master that made the mistake of homebrewing his own world instead of running stuff first, so we'll see how that goes. First in our lineup of players is Cams. If you could just say,
Hi.
introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi, I'm Cams. I play Azealia. Well, Azzy. She's a fiendish orc. Weird stuff that was also homebrewed. Um, Druid, cleric, multi-class. She's nice, the nicest of the whole group. The only one who has an understanding of money somehow. And just here for a really good time. Just here to see everything that she can see and collect as many pets as possible.
All right. So up next we have Corgi, or Kadir, as we call him.
Hello.
Just tell us a little bit about your character.
I'm playing as Belgium Ironhand. I show up at episode 10, I think.
Yes.
He's a Hill Dwarf Battle Master fighter. He was, um, I would say he's an undiagnosed claustrophobic. That's why he's no longer in the mines. And he loves nature. He loves being outside. He likes being the beefy shield to his friends and throwing nets at people. And he has a rock that he talks to called Kevin.
All right. Amazing. So third person, we have Sheebs. If you would like to introduce
Hi.
yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi, my name is Sheebs, and I play Ruin Lawbard, a half-elf bard sorcerer from Kiskasai. Um, she left home a few years ago because she did not want that small town life. She takes nothing seriously, and apparently she's a whore in theory.
God, I love
In
that.
theory,
That's
she
amazing.
says.
Finally,
Like,
closing out our lineup, we have Farah. If you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi, I'm Farah. I play Volante Amakir. She is a Wood Elf Ranger rogue, and she is a military woman. Um, heavy hitter, has heavy problems with authority, but really, really likes dark-haired men for some reason. And that's about it.
Okay, amazing. So that's that's everybody in the group. Bear in mind, a lot of this is foreshadowing for a number of different things, so you guys will understand as we go along. Several disclaimers since we are basically a new podcast and y'all probably don't know who we are. Um, there's a reason why Bargrim came out in episode 10. We did start off with a group of players before Kadir joined us. But unfortunately, you guys will hear about them, and I'll explain that in a bit. Unfortunately, life happens, and things don't always allow you to have time for D&D. We love them, we miss them. We hope they can come back. But we
See you again.
no,
Stop it.
please, copyright. Anyway,
oh
we we
Sorry.
it's okay. We hope that they join us again eventually. But if that doesn't happen, well, I hope they know that we miss them, and we hope that everything works out for them in the best way possible. So that's disclaimer number 1. That is why we have some missing players. Some people would have joined us and left. Disclaimer number 2, audio. You guys are going to notice as you are listening that there are some issues with audio. You might hear some background noise, some people talking in the background. That's because we do not have professional quality microphones, and that is because we uh are poor as fuck. So we can't buy professional quality microphones. We're trying to work on it with time, but you just gotta bear with us for now, and you'll be on that audio quality journey with us. We are also posting to YouTube, as you know, people who like to see video. We are not showing our faces for several reasons, but yeah, the major thing is audio, and that will eventually sort itself out. Just for right now, bear with us. Right. Disclaimer number 3. We look, or well, our background looks like this right now. For the people that are watching and listening on YouTube, this is what our setup is currently. But before we were recording directly from the Discord screen. And that was because mostly we weren't at the time interested in starting a podcast. We played around with the idea of it, but it wasn't a definite thing until recent. So, yeah, you're gonna see us looking a little different for the first set of episodes before we finally have this change that you'll see. You will also notice that everybody's tags here says level 7. We did start at level 1, but the reason, like I said before, we only decided to be a podcast up until recently. So you guys will be going from the beginning, um, hearing the party go from level 1 and hearing their journey go through up until level 7. And hopefully you guys will be there for the rest of this campaign. And another slight thing in this disclaimer, episodes 1 to 9 is where we didn't do a lot of recording. So those episodes, yeah, we didn't do recording. Those episodes don't exist. So what you will have, so people aren't lost, is a brief synopsis of, all right, this is what happened during episodes 1 to 9, and then you'll be thrown into the action at episode 10. I'm nervous about that because I was still very new as a dungeon master, but I'm learning things as I go. Right, disclaimer number 4. The pictures that you guys see of our characters are obviously not ours. We do not own them. These are just placeholders until we find, or until we commission somebody to make our actual, or the character's actual art. So, oh, and another major one. The music that is played during the episodes do not belong to us. We do not have ownership over it, nor do we claim to have ownership over it. If anything, I will post the playlists that I use in the YouTube description, so you guys can check out the right artists and the correct artists. I believe that's it. Is there anything anyone else would like to add?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, in regards to that, thank you guys so much for joining us on this journey, and whatever support you provide, we are eternally grateful. So let's get into the rest of episode 0. Thank you very much again, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Welcome to Koratis, a smaller planet on the younger edge of the multiverse, teeming with life, steeped in mystery, and full of magic and chaos. According to legend, some time ago, the 9 gods settled upon Koratis and created life as we know it. Land was drawn from the depths of expansive waters, forming the great continents of Iteth, Zestal, and Esula, that various species would come to call home. As time went on, a tragedy of unknown origin struck Koratis. This catastrophic event came to be known as the Ruination, and most of the world's recorded histories were wiped from existence. It is known, however, that the events of the Ruination led to the formation of Tuvatu, an island continent which broke off from Iteth over 800 years ago. Life on Tuvatu was not peaceful at first, as the 9 factions that formed went to war over resources, religion, and territories. Many lives were lost during these battles. Lands and histories were further destroyed. An individual, blessed by the gods, rose up and pleaded with the warring factions to come to some agreement of peace. Over time, each nation ended their wars and sought compromise. Countries were formed from the 9 factions, and a leader from each one was elected to be that country's overseer. These overseers formed the Council of the 9, an oligarchy with the anointed individual, known only as the Sovereign, the mysterious 10th member, as their leader. Our story takes place in the year 856 PR, or post-ruination, on Tuvatu, where we begin in the country of Bartal. More specifically, in Hunt's Mark, a small hunting village to the south. The gods looked on as fate intertwined the paths of a group of individuals, unknown to each other and unaware that their lives would forever be changed. In the early evening hours, 2 weary figures entered a tavern in Hunt's Mark, located in the county of Talgrassi, in the country of Bartal. These 2 sisters took a seat at one of the open tables in this otherwise empty establishment.
Do you think Mom will be here, Val?
Azalea, one of the sisters, asked.
We can only hope so, Azzy.
The other sister, Volante, replied. Unbeknownst to them, someone was observing them from across the room, listening in on their conversation while plucking away at her lute. The sisters' purpose for resting in the tavern was fulfilled in the form of the best food the village could provide, and it was offered free of charge by the owner of the tavern, a halfling woman named Ingrid. Curiosity got the better of them, and they both asked what the catch was, to which Ingrid asked them to follow her to the rear of the building. Hearing this new bit of information, the individual that was observing the sisters rose from her corner seat and offered her services as well.
Hi, my name's Ruin.
While leading this group of strangers to the door at the rear of the tavern, Ingrid explained to them that for a while, her sheep had been going missing almost every 2 nights or so, gesturing to her almost bare flock. She promised that if they could find the sheep, or at the very least stop what was causing them to go missing, she would give them a reward. They gathered whatever information was necessary and returned to the tavern's interior to discuss their plan of action and continue their meals. As dusk approached, the sun dipped below the horizon, and the once empty tavern had now become lively with new patrons. Our group, amidst the liveliness, noticed that their surroundings became quiet. Suddenly, a townsperson barged into the tavern, his voice echoing in the silence. "Fog approaching. Guard your wares." All the tavern's patrons quickly double-checked their belongings, fiercely protecting them as a light fog could be seen rolling past the now open door. Our group, wanting to know what was happening, exited the tavern and stood in the fog. Now outside, they managed to hear panicked screaming and shouting coming from the surrounding townsfolk. As the fog slowly dissipated, they noticed several people in distress. Investigating, they learned that over the past 2 weeks a mysterious fog has been coming in and out of town around the same time every few days. Each time it appeared, the townsfolk would lose some of their belongings, and the soldiers of the Golden Legion, Tuvatu's main army, did not seem to care enough to do anything about it. Volante, scanning the surroundings, noticed a shifty-looking individual skulking in an alleyway, who beckoned her over. She approached and asked,
What do you know about the fog?
to which she replied, "Give me a little coin and maybe it will refresh my memory." She decided on a second, more inexpensive option, intimidation. Grabbing him by his collar and shoving him aggressively against the nearest wall, she successfully elicited the information she wanted. This stranger revealed that he noticed the fog always comes in from the northwest. With a new lead in their grasp, the group of 3 set out on their journey the next morning, heading towards the northwest. Their goal, to both find the source of the mysterious fog and, if possible, locate the missing sheep for Miss Ingrid. Cresting a hill outside of town, they noticed a trail of bloodied footprints which led them directly into the jaws of a pack of 6 hungry wolves, tearing away at the carcass of a sheep, with other half-eaten carcasses strewn aside. As our group of 3 approached, the wolves realized that they had uninvited brunch guests and gnashed their teeth in defense of their meal. The group realized that maybe they didn't want to mess with these wolves and escaped by putting 4 of them to sleep. In their rush to get as far away from the wolves as possible, they almost trampled a tiefling who was resting in the tall grass. Introducing himself as Rimaru, he argued with them for almost injuring him. The ensuing noise disturbed an elf who was meditating nearby, and he asked them to be quiet in a not-so-nice manner. Introducing himself as Zion, these 2 new individuals wanted to know why Volante, Ruin, and Azalea were roaming the winding fields of Talgrassi, to which they responded with the details of their tasks. Interested in the prospect of having something else to do, Zion and Rimaru joined the group, and the party was formed. The major issue they faced, however, was the pack of wolves still in their way. Instead of killing them, Zion posed the idea of using the wolves as a tool in the party's future endeavors, and so they returned to the wolves and worked as a team in an attempt to persuade them using pocket bacon that they possessed. Zion and Azalea managed to tame 2 of them, naming them Anbu and Ryu, respectively.
Good boy, Ryu. Good boy.
With their new animal companions in tow, the party returned to the village to report on the missing sheep and to get some food, rest, and supplies before nightfall. As the sun set, the fog appeared once again, and with the new additions to the party, they managed to track down a strange creature within the fog that seemed to be its source. Setting their wolves on this creature, they drew blood and ripped a piece of cloth from the culprit. In response to its injury, the creature screamed out in Draconic as it attempted to charm Zion, which proved unsuccessful. The fog dissipated once again, and fortunately, none of the townsfolk had anything stolen from them this time. And so, the party went to bed, some finding peaceful rest, while some had strange dreams or communed with otherworldly beings. As the sun rose the next morning, the now party of 5 set out into the winding fields for a second time, hoping to be more successful in finding the cause and purpose of this fog. Following a trail of bloody footprints led by their newly adopted wolves, they came across a cave hidden behind a cluster of bushes. The party observed 2 statues at the mouth of the cave, one of a dragon and one of a phoenix. Entering the mouth of the cave, a sudden blast of fire exited the open maws of the statues, covering Azzy in flame. Fortunately, due to her fiendish nature, she shrugged it off with no issue. The party then disabled the trap and trekked the rest of the way into the small cave. Stealthing through, they could hear voices in the distance echoing off the dirt walls. Coming upon an open section of the cave, they all witnessed a small family of 4 kobolds talking amongst each other with a small pot of stew boiling away on the fire, dimly lighting the surrounding area and revealing a pile of stolen items seemingly belonging to the townsfolk. Volante opted to approach alone, hoping to have a civil conversation with the kobolds.
I came alone. Let's talk this out.
The eldest kobold, Krieg, noticed her and approached cautiously, keeping some distance between Val and herself. The other 3 kobolds looked on in suspicion, quietly whispering amongst themselves.
What are you doing here, Verdant Shadow? Did you follow us?
Krieg asked. Volanthe attempted to use her words and military status as a member of the Verdant Shadow to defuse the situation. But the kobolds did not budge, and their suspicion became aggression as they attacked Volante, prompting the rest of the party to join in and back her up. The fight was one-sided as the kobolds were quickly outnumbered, the party subduing them with ease. Afterwards, the kobolds were given a chance to explain themselves. Krieg told her brothers to give them some privacy, and she informed the party of their mysterious master, who had apparently poisoned her brothers. She added that if they did not steal for their master, they would not receive the cure for the poison. The party believed what Krieg was saying and left Rimaru to watch the kobolds as the rest of them went back into town to return the stolen items, gather supplies and food for the kobolds. Unbeknownst to them, as the afternoon sun slowly began to set, the kobolds and Rimaru would come under attack by a mysterious figure dressed in a hooded cloak. Their magical prowess was too strong for the kobolds to fight off, and they were dispatched with ease. But before Rimaru could be killed, the party returned, causing this figure to disappear. With Rimaru laying on the ground barely alive, the party attempted to rouse him before they tried to investigate the now dark cave. They found all the kobolds lying in a pool of their own blood, unmoving except for one, the youngest of the family, Brig. Successfully healing both Rimaru and Brig, the party salvaged what they could from the cave and found a letter addressed to the kobolds stating, quote, "Continue to provide us with what we need, and no harm will befall you." End quote. They asked Brig about the letter, but he stated he did not know much about it, saying that his sister, Krieg, usually gave them orders. Pocketing the letter to eventually show to the authorities in Hunt's Mark, the party began to bury the bodies of the dead kobolds. Interestingly, Brig attempted to keep a memento of one of his siblings, a broken pendant of some sort, that Azzy borrowed, giving him a scarf from his sister as a substitute. She performed a spell on the pendant that detected a faint magical essence from the School of Abjuration, its purpose unknown. During the early hours of the night, the party left the area of the cave, taking Brig with them after burying the bodies. After a bit of walking, they set up camp to gain some rest, with each party member taking turns for watch. As Val's watch came to a close, she was approached by an unidentified member of the Verdant Shadow, who gave her a message stating that she has 2 weeks to return to her homeland of Maricopa, with her response being somewhat nonchalant. With the sun on the horizon, everyone woke the next morning to find that Brig had disappeared, and after searching the area with no sign of him, the party decided to cut their losses and return to Miss Ingrid's tavern for breakfast. The people thanked the party as they walked through the village towards the tavern, where their journey first began. And as a token of gratitude, a free meal was given to each of them.
Look, I'm glad we fixed the situation with the tongue, but who was the one that killed the kobolds?
Ruin asked.
Let's hope we don't have to deal with that or worry about that anymore.
As he responded. The tavern door burst open, this time with a halfling wearing the vestments of an officer, entering with 2 soldiers of the Golden Legion following close behind. This older halfling introduced herself as Constable Myrna Boffin, and from behind her appeared a shy little kobold. "This is the group that found you?" Brig nodded in response, and Boffin asked the party to follow her to her office to explain exactly what happened in the caves. After brief introductions, the party told her everything they knew, which was corroborated by Brig's experience being in the caves with his family. She took some time to think, and trusting the party, revealed that the Golden Legion soldiers do not care much for the folks of the village, which is why they haven't done anything about the fog issue. She asked the party, as a favor to her, to deliver a message to a captain of the Golden Legion located in Talver, the capital city of Bartal. There, they would ask on behalf of Hunt's Mark for more soldiers to be sent to assist in the prevention of more issues like the fog. Curious about the pendant as well, they asked Buffin about it, and she informed them that her brother works in jewelry making in the country of Ashalil and may be able to assist them. With new tasks given to them, the party stocked up on supplies and hired a cart to depart for the 3-day journey to Talver. Leaving town was bittersweet as the individuals that the party helped during their first few days here waved goodbye. Traveling day by day was the easiest part as the surrounding trees were not as dense, which allowed them to see danger easily, and the nights were usually a chance for them to gain peaceful rest. On the first night of their trip, Azzy received a vision from the mother, the goddess of flora and fauna. In this vision, the mother praised Azzy for becoming more powerful in her druidic ways and granted her the ability to change her shape to appear more like the animals that roam the various forests and plains. The remaining days of the trip saw the party meeting acolytes of the god of earth and dirt, Grecian, as well as 2 Golden Legion soldiers looking for a fugitive halfling named Falco. But besides that, it was relatively peaceful. However, on their final day of travel, the party came upon an overturned cart, blocking the road. Exiting their cart to remove it, they were immediately attacked by a band of thieves. With their abilities growing sharper, they made near quick work of the bandits that attempted to rob them, each one being taken down efficiently by a member of the party. However, after witnessing their comrades' defeat, one escaped from Val's grasp, fleeing into the nearby forest. Ensuring that everyone was okay to continue, the party pushed on towards Talvair, witnessing the massive 30-foot walls of the city in the distance, and wondering what sort of adventures or danger would await them within. Thank you so much for listening to and or watching this summary on the first 4 episodes of our session that were not recorded. We appreciate any support and we look forward to seeing you in the very next video. Enjoy, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.